1,298 founders funded the production of this keyboard. Wooting is a Netherlands-based keyboard company you may have not heard of. Founded by 3 passionate gamers in 2015, they've produced several generations of keyboards thus far. The Wooting 60HE is one of their latest productions, featuring a comfortable 60% form factor, full motion analog input, Hall magnetic switches, USB-C input, and a WebUI for customization. This keyboard certainly has a lot going for it. With a simple mission of making analog keyboards the industry standard, Wooting aims to provide the gaming community with, quote, impactful products, transparency, and open communication. Wooting and their crowdfunded products certainly have a captivating charm, and they're challenging everything we know about keyboards. In this video, we're going to break down what the 60HE is and what it's capable of, and tell you if it's worth the price. This keyboard took about 9 days to arrive at my door from point of order. From what I understand, that's pretty quick for Wooting. Others have said it can take between 2 and 3 weeks, so if you order, your delivery time could vary. There are some things I learned about Wooting while doing research for this video that I think are worth mentioning. The first is that one of their co-founders and CEO, Calder Limon, regularly releases blog and vlog updates on what's happening over at Wooting. From what I can tell, they're very transparent with their customers about their products, going as far as travel vlogging about keyboard production overseas. I've emailed the marketing team asking some questions in preparation of producing this video, and they were the ones who directed me to the Wooting vlog. Also, I asked their stance on right to repair, and they responded, quote, Wooting fully supports the right to repair and additionally stands behind our vibrant modding community, end quote. As for what's in the box, you get the keyboard, a USB-C to USB Type-A cable, a key cap tool, spare screws, spare switches, carrying strap, and a really cool postcard that we're going to get into a little bit later. So today we're talking about this guy, which is the Wooting 60HE, which is a 60% keyboard. And for the uninitiated, that means you don't get any of your F keys, you don't get your home keys, your arrow keys, or your numpad. But this little guy, he pulls through. This keyboard checks in at $174.99, which gets you the keyboard and the strap. Now, this keyboard is almost always on back order, but I did receive mine in about 9 days or so. You don't get any retractable feet on the back, which I would like to see, but you don't. The chassis is very well built. It is made out of this rugged plastic. Unless you're throwing this at the ground, I don't think it's going to be breaking on you. I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to flex it. There's no flex to it whatsoever. It's very solid. It is a very well-built keyboard. It comes with this handy strap, which is perfect for bringing it to your friend's mother's basement. One USB-C port on the back, which always ends up reminding me of the IBM Model M. For those who aren't aware, that's a very old keyboard that's considered the king of typing keyboards. Review on that coming soon. The Wooting 60HE has a very tactile feel, and this could be because of the Gateron X lacquer switches. What's really cool about these guys is they're a Hall effects based switch. So what that means is it uses a magnet to transfer an electrical voltage over an electrical circuit, giving you an analog feel on your key switch, which means that the software is going to read the voltage generated by the Hall magnetic effect, and that's going to transfer that into an actuation. Even more specifically, it's going to transfer that into an actuation depth from 0.1 millimeter to 4 millimeters. So anywhere along that train, you can actually set where you want your actuation point to be. So with the reset range, you can actually have it so the switch can't be actuated again until the switch is fully reset, or as soon as it begins to travel up, you can have it be ready to be actuated. That's actually ties into something called rapid trigger, which is you can activate it on the, well, it's not software, but we'll get there. The other cool feature is that because it's a Hall effect space and it knows when the switch begins to travel up, that means as soon as it starts to travel up, you can repress it and actuate that key again. And you can actually set that per key on the keyboard, which is nuts. So you can actually set the actuation distance of each key and how each key will then act when it's ready to be reset. It's absolutely nuts. It's crazy stuff. I love it. Switch itself is completely silent. Any of the clack clack you get are going to be from the keys. I know some of you guys are big into the clackety clacks. I like clackety clacks. Clackety clacks can be good. Add a few clackety clacks. You can actually buy switches from their store in case you do damage any and you need to replace them, which is awesome. It's always great to see when manufacturers support consumers servicing the equipment they buy. I'm a big proprietor of being able to service your own equipment and getting as much out of it as you can. I haven't performed any mods on this keyboard yet myself, but I have seen people replace the entire chassis, the keycaps, the pretty standard stuff. So you can make it look exactly how you want it to look to reflect your personality. Inside the packaging, they include this little postcard, but it says, "Thank you for your support and contribution. If you ever need a favor, write it down here and send the postcard to us. We'll do our best to make it happen." Now, I haven't tried to do anything with this yet, but it's pretty neat that they leave just a way for you to get in contact with them in case you ever need something. It's a nice human touch. So if you're liking this review so far, consider getting subscribed. We have a few other keyboard reviews in the pipeline, including the big brother to this keyboard, the Wooting 60HE, and the IBM Model M. I actually have a vintage Model M from 1989 that we're going to clean and tear apart. So make sure to get subscribed. As far as typing on this thing, I gotta say it's an absolute joy, but it was a little difficult for me to relearn the keyboard a little bit. But once you get typing on it, it's an absolute pleasure. And if you're curious, this is what it sounds like. Now, the greatest feature for this keyboard is the software. Or should I say, lack of software. They do have software which you can install if you want, but trust me, just go to utility.io and customize the living crap out of your keyboard and save it directly. Just write it directly to the keyboard. That's all you need to do. No bloatware, no software needs to be installed. You just go to a WebUI and change everything. We're talking individual keys for RGB. We're talking rebinding keys. We're talking layering your keyboard, which is a pretty neat feature. All right. So you can have different layers for your keyboard. So any of the keys you're missing out on, for example, like the arrow keys, the home key, the end key, and numpad, you can assign it to a different layer on your keyboard. So if you hit a keystroke, you enter into that different layer and you can continue to use like your numpad as if it were there. And then you can go back to your top layer where all your keys are. You can activate the rapid trigger, which again allows you to reactuate the key as soon as it starts sensing that the key is moving upwards. You can enter the tachyon mode. Now the tachyon mode disables all RGB and optimizes your raw input. All manufacturers should be in awe of Wooting just for the WebUI, because I am sick and tired of bloatware for every piece of equipment I have to. You know how many mice I have? You know how many bits of software I have to install for the mice? Just let me go to a WebUI and write everything to the memory of the device. Is it really that hard? The best part is I can plug this in anywhere. I can plug this to a different machine, completely different Windows machine. I can bring this to work wherever I go, and it's exactly the same. 10 out of 10. Other manufacturers take notice and copy this feature. This is what I want to see on mice, on keyboards, on headsets, everything. Everybody should be jealous of this feature. It's amazing. Let's look at the pros of this keyboard. You have the Hall sensor switches. You have the rapid fire mode. The keyboard can detect whether you're depressing the key 0.1 millimeter or 4 millimeters, and you can reactuate as soon as the key starts to go up again. Perfect for games like Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six Siege, Apex Legends, anything where you need to move quickly to have the advantage over your opponent. It has a WebUI. You don't have to use software. It's perfect for travel, will fit right in your backpack. There aren't enough nice things to say about this keyboard. If you are a person who is a competitive FPS gamer or just a competitive gamer at all, then this is the keyboard for you. This is a 10 out of 10. And I think anybody who likes a 60% size keyboard should do themselves a favor and at least try it. Thanks for sticking around as the channel grows and we start to branch out from mice reviews. This was our first keyboard review of many, I hope, and we have a few more in the pipeline. If you'd like to see other in-depth reviews, check out my channel, and I'm sure there's something you might like. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. GG. Super Light 2 video coming next. Hit subscribe.